Hey, what's up, guys? This is the Indie Kid coming at you with an early signing day after. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you tune in to Talking VAWLS Wednesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Make sure you tune in Saturday after the Texas A&M game. It's a 12 noon Eastern Time game. It'll be on ESPN, and I'd say you're looking at a post show around 3:30, 4 o'clock on Saturday. I'm sure they'll give you more information as it comes. Make sure you check out Talkin VAWLS for basketball as well, JP and Dauber, and then I'll bring you the Orange Blazer each week as well. But once again, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit subscribe. Early signing day. It's kind of like an early Christmas, I guess you could say, so to speak. And I think all of us that follow recruiting, we've always been used to the February signing day, and people taking off work and just taking the day to sit around and do nothing but just watch for these signatures to come in. So it's kind of a little different to me, and I guess I'm still getting used to it. Maybe this year with which such a strange year, still football going on. Normally, your conference championships are over at this point. Everybody knows what bowl they're going to and stuff. Obviously, it's not the case this year, but early signing day. And of course, it's still. This is recorded on Wednesday night. This will post tomorrow morning, Thursday morning. But still going on right now. But Tennessee, I feel like they've had a pretty good day, honestly. And just looking at, they've got 15 signed letter of intents right now. They're waiting on, from what I've seen, and this may change by the time this posts. Right now, I think most of the commits that are not signed are waiting until February. I know that Cayman Marley, the athlete out of North Carolina, 4-star, he is national 145 overall, according to 24/7 Sports. That's what I go by on here. But the last I'd seen that they thought he was signing tonight at some point. Who knows, things can change. Obviously, he could sign tomorrow or anytime, or he could wait. But I know that's one I think they're probably hoping they'll get in the fold tonight. And, from what I gathered, Tennessee was trying to get Dylan Brooks. They really wanted him to sign early. And last I had seen, they were thinking possibly he's waiting until February. But there's also 5 other guys on here as well that are waiting. I think I seen that Isaac Washington, defensive tackle out of Pilot Mountain, North Carolina, is supposed to sign on Friday. If I'm wrong on that, please correct me in the comments. And then there's a few more. As far as I'm not sure about Deshaun Rucker, the safety out of Tallahassee, Florida. And then there's a few that have said they're waiting till February on that. So I think it's always interesting if you're waiting till February to see if these guys will be a part of the signing class for one reason or another. I don't want to speculate that they're being turned loose. Maybe it's their decision or what have you. But, that's the good thing, I think, as far as if you're a college coaching staff is today, you get these guys signed on the dotted line, and they're signed. They're part of that class. You can focus on your guys who haven't signed. You can focus on maybe recruits that haven't signed yet. And it's almost like another recruiting season now with all the transfers. And I think from what I've seen at this point that the one-time transfer rule has been applied, and so that's going to. Again, that's a whole other recruiting season right there. And so it's, if I'm Tennessee, and I think from what I've gathered, that's probably the route they may go, that they want to bring in some transfers. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a grad transfer. It can just be a one-time transfer. But if I'm Tennessee and I've got some holes that need to be filled, I'm definitely wanting to look in that transfer market. You can sign up to 25. If I'm Tennessee, I'm holding 5 spots. That's just me. I just think there's places where you could get help right there. And I just wonder moving forward how this is going to affect recruiting class, because these transfers have to be a part of a recruiting class. I wonder, does this maybe start a domino effect to where some schools that are down, maybe some lower schools start to reel in higher ranked recruits because schools are holding out for transfers and such. I mean, I don't know. It's a thought. Maybe it's a crazy thought right there, but I wonder what the domino effect is going to be from this one-time transfer. But, enough about all that. Let's get into Tennessee's signing class. Again, I think based on the circumstances, based on where they're at right now at 3-6, and who knows what we'll see right now. All the speculation about Jeremy Pruitt, in which, let's be fair about it, from Tennessee's end, they've done nothing. Yeah, a couple weeks ago, Phil Fulmer on Vol Calls, I mean, to me, it seemed like he gave that vote of confidence to Pruitt. He didn't just come right out and say he's going to be back next year. And I think he probably covered himself on that. But, I would, regardless, I know how rumors go and everything. This person knows a donor and blah, blah, blah. But, rumors are flying. It's unfortunately, that's the bad thing when you get into a bad season. Rumors start flying. This person knows this person and yada, yada. But I really think, and I've seen a couple recruits make a comment that they were kind of a little worried, and then they were basically convinced that Jeremy Pruitt's going to stay. I think if you're holding out hope that Jeremy Pruitt's going to be fired come this weekend, I don't want to sit here and say never or anything. Based on everything, I think he's going to be back next year. And I'll say this, guys, that you guys listen, I've been critical of him at this point, but I'll tell you this right now. He gets that vote of confidence. They say he's back next year. I'm in his corner. I'm pulling for him. I want him to succeed. We're all Tennessee fans. I want whomever the coach is, I want him to succeed. I mean, I think we're all tired of these bad years, these down years right here. And, it's just been an awful year and stuff. But, kind of back to the topic at hand here, based on everything that's gone on this year, I really think they've done pretty good today. And, obviously that class could get better. Right now it's ranked 15th nationally, 6th in the SEC. And, last year they ranked 7th in the SEC. And, I think the year before that they ranked 9th in the SEC. So, no, it's not first, second, or third in the SEC. No, Alabama, your Georgia, these teams, they're still loading up every year. They're going to continue to load up. But every little bit of talent, and I don't mean that Tennessee just got a little bit of talent today. I think they did a good job today. But every bit of talent Tennessee gets is going to help. I mean, obviously at this point now it comes to developing and coaching them up. But looks like they've got, according to 24/7 Sports, right now 7 4-stars and 8 3-stars here. And, I guess, how people always look at you. You might be able to look at other publications. Guys may be ranked higher in other publications. And obviously, if you were to get Dylan Brooks and Cayman Marley in the fold, that's 2 more 4-stars right there. But I think they addressed the one mark I think they keep failing to address is cornerback. And it seems like, of course, they had the McGee kid who ended up signing with LSU today. That was a big loss right there. There is still the possibility they could add Terrence Lewis back to this class. From what I've seen, he's got it down between Maryland and Tennessee right now. And, who knows? We'll see. His plans are he's going to sign this week or sometime soon and then announce his choice at I believe it's the Army All-American game. He's announcing his choice at right there. That seems to be a thing with guys doing it. And one thing I hope in that case is whichever team he doesn't sign with, I hope they respect that. Whether if he signs with Maryland, I hope Tennessee respects that and lets him have his moment right there. If he's going to sign with Tennessee, I hope the same there. But looking at it, the highest rank according to 24/7's Aaron Willis, linebacker out of Colonial Heights, Virginia. I think he was originally up in Washington, D.C. and moved down into Virginia, but got Caden Salter, 4-star quarterback out of Texas. Got Catrone Evans, defensive tackle out of Baltimore, Maryland. Cody Brown, running back out of Lilburn, Georgia. Julian Nixon, wide receiver, 6'3", 230 wide receiver. A lot of possibilities with him, especially depending on his speed. From what I've gathered, he's a really good athlete there, and if that's a guy that can move pretty well, it could cause some mismatches on the outside. Walker Merrill, wide receiver out of Brentwood Academy. Seems to me like the coaches are pretty high on him. And I know during Pruitt's conference today, he said that's a guy he expects to compete really quickly to be in the rotation. You got to look at after this year. Josh Palmer's committed to playing the Senior Bowl, so he's going to be leaving. Brandon Johnson's going the grad transfer route. Definitely wish him luck. He's a guy who's done some good things at Tennessee and stuff, but it seems like he's kind of, he took the voluntary 4-game red shirt last year and came back, and then, he's had his moments a little bit this year, but I think their transition, you've seen Bayless Jones get more involved. You're seeing more Jalen Hyatt. I think that's going to be more your guys going forward, and it'll be interesting to see with that rotation, but I think there's definitely some opportunity for these young guys to get in the rotation and do some things next year. And, hopefully the quarterback situation, hopefully at some point is going to iron out and they know who's going to be thrown to them. And they can get that familiarity with them. But Tennessee signed number one. Tennessee had a really good day with running backs. Cody Brown, I like his size. And I seen Jeremy Pruitt talk about this. This is a guy that rushed for over 5,000 yards in high school. Just to kind of compare that, and some of you guys maybe around, if you live around the East Tennessee, maybe Southwest Virginia area, the guys I remember putting those kind of numbers up was Thomas and Julius Jones. Maybe some of you guys remember them. Both of them played in the NFL. Thomas Jones played Virginia. Julius Jones played at Notre Dame. But I remember when they were in high school, their numbers were absolutely ridiculous, just what they were rushing for per game. And it sounds like Cody Brown put up maybe similar numbers. I don't know if it was quite what those guys did, but, you don't hear that very often, the yardage that the Jones brothers put up. They were incredible back in high school, had really good careers, good college players. They played in the NFL as well. But you got Cody Brown, you got Tyon Evans, who's actually out of here in South Carolina. I can't remember what part it is. I think it's up closer to maybe Columbia here, but he was committed to Tennessee at one point. He decommitted, and then he ended up getting back in the fold, and he did sign today. And then Jalen Wright, who is out of Durham, North Carolina, 5'11", 187. From what I've seen on him, he's an absolute burner at his position. They're expecting him to play running back and be a kick returner as well. So I think they had a really good day at running back. Couple that with what they've already got with Eric Gray. Obviously should be back next year. And I say should with this. Who knows today, especially with these transfers and stuff, when somebody may up and hit the road. But hopefully Eric Gray comes back. Eric Gray's a stud. We definitely need him. I think Ty Chandler, you never know. He could come back. It'd be cool if he did. Obviously wish him the best either way, but hope he comes back. A lot of people's excited after seeing D. Beckwith this week. And, I'm excited too. It's a big dude, and he looked good out there carrying the ball. You got Jabari Smalls. You've got Lynette Whitehead, who come as a run back. I'm still curious to see if he ends up sticking there or not. That was definitely his preference. He's been injured this year. Maybe he does. Maybe he ends up being a really good back. But, I always say, and I'm just a guy speculating. I'm just a fan speculating. I could see a point. I know he was initially ranked inside linebacker. I could see him maybe switching over. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't. And, again, that's speculation on my part. But, that's going to give you up to 9 or 10 running backs depending on, and Carlin Fields on me. So that would put you at 10 because he said he's coming back next year as well. And unless I'm trying to remember if he said he's going to transfer. But last I remember, he's coming back as well. That's potential 10 running backs. That's a lot of running backs right there. So you think some guys are probably either going to leave or transfer positions. But, one thing, if your team, you want to recruit, definitely you want to build your lines of scrimmage, but it's never a bad thing to have too many athletes, too many good athletes there. But Tennessee did really good at running back. They've signed a few linemen here. William Parker out of Nashville, Tennessee. They signed Jamarian Gooch out of Gallatin, Tennessee, and then they got Amari McNeil out of Sewanee, Georgia, right there. And I know he's a guy they said could play either side of the ball. I think the other two are penciled in at offensive linemen. They did mention with William Parker he could possibly play both ways. And then I know not too long ago tonight, Byron Young, defensive end, junior college. He's out of Milledgeville, Georgia. He committed and signed tonight as well. So I've had, and then pretty intriguing athlete here, Trinity Bell out of Albertville, Alabama, 6'7", 260. The possibilities are endless with him, depending on where his weight goes. I could see tight end there. You could see him possibly as a defensive lineman or something. But if he keeps that weight around that time, that is a very, very intriguing tight end option there. And then also they signed Miles Campbell, tight end out of Douglasville, Georgia, that they seem to be pretty high on. And I've seen a lot of good reviews on him also. But, I'd be remiss also if I didn't mention Caden Salter. And, Jeremy Pruitt said all these guys coming in, they're going to have an opportunity next year. Of course, I think we expected a little more of that this year. I hope some of them will have a little bit more of an opportunity we've seen, but hopefully, hopefully COVID will be a little more under control at that point where there's not so much quarantine, where there's not so much where it's throwing things off at that point. But, what I've seen on Salter, he can move well, and Jeremy Pruitt made the comment that, he can make all the throws. So, that's another good prospect entering the quarterback room there, as you got to think. I've got my speculation on who I think will transfer quarterback-wise, and I think it could be numerous ones. But I'm curious to see what the quarterback room looks like, if they'll go grad transfer route or if they're going to go with the young guys right here. Maybe a grad transfer just in case something happens that the young guys don't pan out or whatever. But, some of these athletes I really like Trinity Bell mentioned 6'7", 260. Julian Nixon, 6'3", 230, is listed as a wide receiver. That's another guy, if he can move, could really cause some mismatches on the outside. And then an athlete that I've seen described as high upside, Christian Charles, 6'1", 185, out of Gainesville, Georgia. He's mainly, I'm curious to see how he ends up down there. Not sure if he's a Cam Sutton type. Obviously, we want to always compare a three-star to who's panned out. Cam Sutton definitely surpassed expectations. If we get another Cam Sutton, that'd be fantastic. But Charles, 6'1", 185, good size. From what I gather, he's going to start off on maybe at corner right there. But from what I gather, he's not played a lot of it. He's been more of a offensive guy. But, pretty fascinating prospect from what I've gathered. And then, I think I've touched upon all the guys today. But I think if you're Tennessee, based on how the year has gone, all the drama, all the controversy and everything, I think you've got to be pretty happy that you were able to keep most of this class in the fold. And, of course, there's been decommitments. And, the first reaction is always the sky is falling right there. But, I think there was definitely some commitments they didn't want to lose, and there were some that were encouraged, more or less. And it always happens, especially if you're close to a full class at early signing day, you're still in on prospects or you want to make room. It's going to happen. And, definitely any of these prospects that are encouraged, definitely wish them the best and hope they find a good place for them. And, hope it doesn't come back to haunt Tennessee in any way there or anything. But, they got to make the decisions based on their numbers and what they need. But, again, there were some, obviously, they didn't want to lose as well, and hopefully they'll get Lewis back in the fold. We'll find out, I think it's around January 2nd is when the All-American Bowl is. So hopefully we'll know by then on that day that he's back in the fold. But I think, they're probably definitely going to have to recruit him hard up until he actually signs then. But again, I think if you're Tennessee, based on everything, I think you got to be pretty happy with how things turned out today. I think could probably use a little bit more help on both lines. And again, I think one thing that keeps hurting is not getting these true cornerbacks, because it seems like all their corners are pretty much just athletes, not necessarily true lockdown corners. And I think it shows. You see moments out of guys, their athletic ability comes through, but Tennessee really needs those true lockdown corners. Not a corner that's going to go into a safety or whatever, but that true, really lockdown corner. A little bit of linebacker help today with Aaron Willis. Hopefully Terrence Lewis gets in the fold. That'd be big. Some good prospects, defensive line, couple good, intriguing prospects on the offensive line. Another quarterback, again, did good at running back, wide receiver, tight end. So we'll see where they finish at. And, it'll be interesting. I think after this weekend, we're going to know. Again, my speculation is Jeremy Pruitt's coming back, and I think we'll know that for sure, probably as early as Saturday after the game, and maybe as late as Sunday. But I'd be surprised on it. I'm not going into my opinion either way. But I think there's, with 15 players signing with so much supposed uncertainty, I think these guys have got to have a clue one way or another. I hope there's a little bit of truthfulness at least with them. But sorry to keep you guys for so long. But again, I think a pretty good day for Tennessee based on everything. And, we can complain it's only 15th ranked, 6th in the SEC. Based on how the season's gone, I think you should really be content with that. And, it could possibly go higher depending on who they pick up, who signs. And hopefully they'll keep some of them in the fold that they've already got now. So based on all the circumstances, if Tennessee ends up keeping a couple guys and adding to it, if they end up around 10th, I think we should probably be pretty happy with that based on the season. But appreciate you guys tuning in. Y'all take care. Stay safe. And I'll see you next week.